Alright people, welcome back. Let's get into the stream, shall we? Let's get into the stream. Alright, here we go. Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another stream. What I thought I'd do is I wanted to I was talking about doing it, but I wanted to do a stream where I give my before I see the movie, it's like I want to predict a few things because I mean we are a prediction channel. Like we talk about sports and we make sports predictions, but with regards to like everything that's gonna happen in Brand New Day, I thought I'd get ahead of it because oh boy, there are already a few things that have been spoiled, but like it's in the context of kind of spoilers. One of them, which, by the way, this is your spoiler warning. Okay, so I don't want to hear none of this. Oh, you spoil. Why are you clicking on it? Why are you clicking on this video if you already knew it was going to get spoiled? So this is your spoiler warning for the movie. Now, so this stream could be like an hour. It could also be like 2 hours. No, I'm gonna try to make sure it's not a 2-hour stream because talking for 2 hours about a movie I haven't even seen. Eesh. What is this? The Odyssey? Okay, so let's get into it. Let me pull up some of my stuff here that I want to look at and go over because there's a few things we can look at and go over. First things first. Okay, so with regards to spoilers, if you clicked on the video already and you're like, what the heck, freaking hater, I gotcha. No, I know for a fact that this movie is awesome. I've watched a couple spoiler-free reviews where they've talked about like this film is good, and what were some other things. What I've heard through the grapevine is action sequences. This is the best. Like, this is better than Andrew Garfield. This is better than Tobey Maguire. Like, this is better than Tom Holland's previous films. Like, this is one of the best Spider-Man films in regards to that. So that's kind of like, that's something good to look at. If you want to look at it from that approach, like, okay, like it's at least, positive in that aspect. So I've heard about that. What are some other things that I've heard? Lots of people have said it's one of the most mature Spider-Man movies, and it's like, okay, all right. And then a lot of people also liked the fact that it was, which is kind of funny, because it's like it's Spider-Man solo film, and it's like with also the help of the Hulk being in it, and potentially Jean Grey and the Punisher. See, guys, it was a solo film, but it's like here's all these ensemble cast members that are in this film. So, yeah, once again, here's your warning for a spoiler warning, because I'm going to get into a couple things, because I think what we can do as well, if I'm not mistaken, let me put up a bumper here real quick. Okay, never mind, we're good there. It's over on this screen. I think I don't. Nope, I don't. I thought I did. I thought I had. Nope, I don't have the Spider-Man trailer. I don't have the Spider-Man trailer on hand, but I'm not clicking on it because it's gonna play so many ads, and it's gonna be found, and YouTube's gonna be like, get him. Yeah, let's get into it. let's get into it. Let's talk about some speculations that I have for the film. So once again, it's your spoiler warning. If you don't want to see any spoilers, go ahead, click away. Um, but yeah, let's get into it because I have some thoughts. Like I think this could be a really good film, and I think this could definitely take some leaps and go in a different direction because I've heard they that it makes a couple different leaps on like, oh, okay, this is what this did different this time around, um and all that. So why is it showing delayed? It's my Oh, I hope my stream's not lagging. I'd be super sad and pissed if my stream was lagging. All right, we good? We good? I think we're good. Hello? I think we're good. Let me wait like 2 seconds. Okay, okay, it shows. It's good so far. So far, so good. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first things first. Um, One thing that I already know that I was correct on in my predictions is montages. Um, a lot of people, which let me pull it up here if I can find a video. Let's find a brand new dreid. All right. Is this the one? This is the one. Right. Okay, here it is. Pop this in. Let me pop this bad boy in here. No, closed captions. Here we go. So the first things first, we want to look at this. Okay. All right, we fast forward past this. Fast forward past this. Where? There we go. Okay, right here. This scene, and this scene. Something that I was looking at because we have watched a lot of Marvel films where, hopefully this isn't just a montage at the beginning of the film where it's like, into the Spider-Verse where it's like, okay, let's do this one more time. My name is Peter Parker. And then like it goes through a montage. That, from what I have heard, that is exactly what this is. Where we don't sit on this scene of him fighting Tarantula for more than like it is a montage of let's get these accurate, comic book shots, which not gonna lie, like pretty badass. But where I've heard through the film is there's lots of like action and great like fighting sequences, but then like I've heard the pacing of this film is very terrible in aspects of we're having awesome scenes of Spider-Man fighting with the Scorpion, and then all of a sudden we got to slow it down and focus on Spider-Man missing his friends and have it be like very Gen Z in that approach, which I can see where it would work, but then I can also see where it would not work. Because again, the whiplash of, oh, now we're doing that. Because again, I mean, you could do it with Superman films, Batman films, Spider-Man films, superhero films as a whole. If from beginning to end for 2 hours, I would say 90 minutes, but movies aren't 90 minutes anymore. They're not that staple 90-minute block anymore. Like it is expanded to about an hour 45 and then 2 hours. And now we're in that 2:25 block. Literally, if it's chalked from fighting from, front to back, that's what we want in superhero films. Like, because Doomsday, oh my gosh, I can already see at least 40 minutes. No, I'm giving them too much credit. I could see at least an hour. Because if Doomsday is 3 hours, is Doomsday a 3.5 hour film? Let's double check. Saw somewhere it's a 3.5 hour film. Because they're like comparing it to Doomsday runtime. 2:45. Okay. Okay. Why did I think it was going to be 3 hours? But of that 2:45, I'd say at least an hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes of it. It's going to be talking. it's going to be talking and build up, and it's like, because I'd give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh no, 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 no. Like they'll keep talking to a minimum. It'll be clutch, airtight script, well paced, perfect. No, no. If you've heard the rumors, like they've been rewriting even while filming. They've been filming and writing at the same time, and it's like, damn. Tell me the last time a film that was being written and filmed at the same time was successful. Go ahead, I'll wait. I can wait. Um, so that was one of my predictions because again, this is going to be kind of like a prediction video and sort of go over what I could see happen in the film, so on and so forth. One thing that I wanted to predict was these sequences because that was something that I would like. Again, don't get me wrong, like it is a cool shot, like these shots of him, not that one, him saving the dude, him flying through the air past Boomerang, him fighting Tarantula. Like these are cool scenes, and it's like pulling straight off of the comic book page, but like it only does so much when this is literally the only shot. And it's like, well, does Boomerang serve any purpose for the rest of the film? Oh, he doesn't? That's where I think this is going. Now, with regards to Scorpion, because I think Scorpion might be in this trailer. Oh, we already talked about the hand. In one of my, where's the, where's the Scorpion? Is a Scorpion in this trailer? I don't know. Scorpion is not in this trailer. Scorpion's in the other trailer, which we could actually pull up the other trailer. Hopefully the hand plays a big part in this film. I don't know if it does. Do I think the hand worked for somebody? Obviously. I do think they work for the Jean Grey character. Like, it hasn't been confirmed. I will admit, it has been spoiled for me. I know who the Jean Grey character is. That's because it's been spoiled. But after I watch the film, I'll go, okay, I can see. Oh, what the heck is going on? After I see the film and like actually go, okay, this is actually what's going on. I'll explain kind of my thoughts of, oh, I can see why they did that. But before seeing the film, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be Jean Grey. But I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that until I watch the film and go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because it's they've done it before. I mean, for example, I'm trying to think of like more recent MCU films. What was the one? I'm trying to think of how to. It's Doctor Strange, but in the case of they had through the trailers and kind of like leading up to it, you kind of knew Scarlet Witch was going to be the bad guy, but like not really. And so I'm my or the other thing is the trailer showed a lot of like, oh dude, look at that, there's Professor X, there's Mr. Fantastic, but then it's like, oh, they only lasted like 30 seconds. That Iron Man 2, no, Iron Man 3, and then a little bit of Guardians 2. What other kind of, not bait and switch, but yeah, I'll explain it. I'll explain it when I actually get to see the movie because it is kind of a spoiler, but like no, not really. Yeah, we'll explain it later. But yes, before seeing the movie and before it being spoiled, I did think Sadie Sink's character was Jean Grey. All right, but moving on. The Hand, hopefully, like, because when it talks about like main villains in this film, and I kind of have thought this. You know what I just noticed too, dude? They're wearing toe shoes. Look how there's like a split in the middle. I didn't notice that first, but the in this trailer, I thought that because it's like who would be locked up here for Spider-Man to try to fight, and then I'm thinking, okay, maybe the Punisher gets locked up. This scene right here, oh my, I think, and because we have seen it through the trailers, it would be a shame. Well, it would definitely be an interesting marketing to do it this way. It'd be very interesting if this is the only shot, because the way it's framed when you look through the trailer of him versus Tarantula and him versus Boomerang, who was the other one? Him saving that guy. If this is in the montages and they don't mention the hand for the rest of the film and it kind of just falls away, that'd be a shame. That'd be a real shame. And just with how this scene is, tell me other people won't be. Tell me Frank's not, jumping up here with, or something with the Punisher. Like, there, we have seen this, especially in the No Way Home trailer. There are characters hiding in this because it's like, who are they charging at? Their line of vision, they're going this way or something. Who are they charging at? They're not getting up there. You know what I mean? Like, now, it's cool and the aesthetic of the shot is super cool, but who we kidding? Like, so I'm still under. I haven't heard any spoilers on how this scene plays out, but that's how I would predict this scene happening. Is there is somebody right here in the trailer that is hiding, that they have hidden through the magic of editing. What else? What else? What are some other big predictions that I think? Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think there's a little bit of mutation going on in the ways of because we have not seen it yet. It's been talked about. It's no secret. Um, Andrew Garfield didn't get the symbiote suit because they never made a third film. Ugh, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for something that's older than 15 years. Spoiler alert. There was never an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 3. Sony decided, no, we're good. But there have been talks on, I mean, because the Venom movies, there's parts of me that think if the Venom movies were more successful financially, um, you don't think Marvel would go, yeah, sure. Let's throw Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU. We can do that. That's probably, and again, like I've had my own thoughts and opinions on the MCU and what the MCU has been for almost the last decade. Almost, we're about 4 years away from, because, well, maybe more like three. Post Endgame. Post Endgame, there's only been three good movies in the MCU. And if you don't believe that, okay, go look again and then argue with a brick wall. Deadpool and Wolverine, No Way Home, Guardians 3, and then you can throw this in the conversation. That, because that's another thing that I've heard is, why is it that the movies that Sony is a part of, or primarily Fox, because Deadpool and Wolverine, is Deadpool and Wolverine the best film ever? No, but it is at least a love letter to the fans. But like, why is it that the movies where, you know, Marvel's Disney doesn't have his hands all over, why are they so bad versus a movie where Sony has its hands all over? And it's like, wow, you're hearing reception come back that this film is arguably, like, it's not on the same level of No Way Home, but it's up there. Where, yeah, you look at the last 7 years of all the TV shows, all the movies, all the everything, this is the best one. And it's like, very interesting. When, you know what, they could have, instead of, hey, you know what, we need a She-Hulk TV show. You could have started to write up a script and implement some things where, no, we need to get, you know, the Venom symbiote, and we need to somehow find a way to get Tom Hardy's Venom into Tom Holland's universe and have them fight. No, we didn't want to go that direction. We wanted creatively, we wanted to take the creative expression and do something new for a modern audience. And so with this, I know he morphs, and because it shows it in the trailer, but from the cocoon, he gets a call caught up in it. Yeah, there it is. There's the cocoon. This is probably somewhere in the first act of the film. Um, I would suspect. Well, I don't know. Is YouTube gonna freak out that there are man titties on my screen? Let me. They'd be like, "No, it's fine. It's Tom Holland." If it was anybody else, we'd freak out. But it's Tom Holland, so we're good. Where's the? Let's go back to the cocoon. Um, I wonder how they'll do the organic webbing thing because he had his web shooters, but he's not using his web shooters anymore. So I wonder how long they sit on this, if at all. Um, but I think there's the possibility that this could turn into a mutation in the way of man spider. Now let me pull up a photo to show you what I'm talking about. All right, let me show you something here. All right, do I think MCU would be brave enough? That's pretty freaky. Do I think the MCU would be brave enough and go to this kind of like body horror of, yeah, like he's literally morphing? No, I don't think they'd be brave enough to do something like this. Because where's the there's the Manspire in the cartoon. I don't know if any of you watched the cartoon. And then where's the yeah, there's like a there's that, and then there's a Spider-Man spider. There's a cartoon somewhere in the 90s or like 2000s, Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, this is the one. There's an episode, or maybe this is a Mandela effect where it's like, no, dude, you're tripping. But it's like I could have sworn there's an episode of him fighting all of his villains, but then there's another episode where he has like multiple arms. I'm trying to find if there's a shot of that. Yeah, again, look, he faces up with Venom. Totally could do it. Also, spoiler alert too. I heard that J. Jonah Jameson isn't in this film, which it's like, damn, that's a shame. You literally don't have J. Jonah Jameson, who I would argue is a prominent character. Not like you're gonna have Tarantula, Boomerang, but you're not gonna have J. Jonah Jameson. You see what I mean? It's almost like, oh, not putting Venom in a Spider-Man film, which it's like, spoiler alert. Hey, Marvel, you've had 4 tries, and they still haven't put him in yet. But again, actually, that's not confirmed yet because again, I haven't seen it yet, but I would assume that Venom is not in this film. That'd be my assumption. All right, what else? I want that wall crawling. Yeah, like this kind of horror aspect, which you could do it through. I mean, remember in Spider-Man 2 when he lost his powers for a little bit, and there were a couple scenes where, oh my gosh, he's just regular man and he's losing his powers, where you could pace and do pacing points within the film where, yeah, there's a couple sequences and series of events where he's getting lost and while he's in his trance. Because I mean, Moon Knight did practice some of it a little bit in Moon Knight where half the time he didn't know what he was doing until he woke up and he came to it. Where's the new trailer? Here's the new trailer. Oh, it's gotta play an ad real quick. Hold on. We're right here. All right. No, right. There's a scene where he is literally like falling, but like he wakes up at the same time. Where is it? Where is it? Where... Ah, here it is. Right here. Okay. Where, yep, right here, where he comes out of it and he's like, holy shit, where have I been? But he doesn't know where he's been because the symbiote has like taken over, like the mutation of him turning into, like, because could they hide an extra pair of arms right here? Hell yeah. Marvel's done it before in the past. Or like a little bit of like disconfiguration to the face. Um, Add an extra limb or two. Yeah, they definitely could because again, this is Marvel. They have hidden stuff in the trailers before. But literally in Spider-Man 3, after he gets the symbiote suit, he wakes up staring at himself. Um, but he doesn't know because he's asleep, so it's the symbiote like looking at his own reflection. So there's parts of me where you could have that aspect. Again, do I think Marvel's brave enough to go in that direction or expand on that? No, baby. They're all about the message. So I don't know about that creative liberty. Maybe not. Um, the eyes. Yeah, this is definitely, it's so freaking cool. We'll see where it goes from there. Which it makes me wonder, like, this past, this is probably the very ending. This is probably when that scene wraps up, but it's like, okay, because it's like, no mask, now he's wearing a mask. No mask, now he's wearing a mask. So it's like, where does that happen? Um, and then what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Well, actually, first let's go back to, whoops, let's go back to our other Spider-Man trailer. Let me find it real quick. La da da. You know, let's stack these on each other. Why not? We might as well stack them on each other. So that was one plot point that I think could be in this film that I've kind of predicted of mutation of Man Spider slash, I don't know. Maybe it's the MCU's version of what Peter's body starts to do while reacting to the symbiote. Because again, everybody has a different reaction to the symbiote. What else? What else? What else? Prediction wise, yeah, this scene I have heard the beginning is him in like a work construction site, and so like, and hanging upside down. So this checks out if this is the opening scene, and I would not be surprised. What else have I heard? Um, yeah, this has got to be the opening scene. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, oh, let's talk about the Punisher a little bit and what I think the Punisher. Actually, first, let me check the chat. If any of y'all got any thoughts or reactions to the movie. Do I think the Punisher? No, 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 no. They're gonna keep him because you gotta make it. They're probably gonna do another season of the Punisher. So, all right. Now moving on. Why is the Punisher in this film? TBH, I don't have any predictions behind the reason why they would put him in the film. Probably just, I hate to say it, for fun. I hate to use the term for fun, but I mean, there are so many characters that connect to Spider-Man. You could have anybody. Well, and it's also with the comic books if you want to follow the comic books. Technically, anybody could be in any Spider-Man because Spider-Man's the most popular MCU character. Um, but I think the reason why he's in this is probably like a soft launch for a second season or something like that, because we've seen that before. I mean, with Hulk, with Hulk being in Ragnarok, that was a soft launching point for also talks of having a World War Hulk movie, because the Edward Norton Hulk is the only movie we've had in the MCU, and oh, we'll have a She-Hulk, but yeah, like there are characters in certain films that we have seen throughout the MCU where, based on critic reception, is a soft launching point. Because I think if Ragnarok did bonkers numbers, they would have made a World War Hulk movie. Like we're hearing it right now with Blade. Um, like I think there's only ever one Blade. There's only one Blade, and there's only ever going to be one Blade. Um, like we've been waiting for this since 2018. So I'll second his thoughts on, if they wanted to make a Blade movie, they would have. Because, again, you want to make a Miss Marvel TV show, you want to make a Falcon in the Winter TV show, you could have made a Blade TV show. You really could have. And not only that, you know where Mahershala Ali's Blade could have also been in? Deadpool and Wolverine as well. Where it's like, okay, you don't make a trilogy, you only make one. But then it's like, sure, at the very end, if you want to add like incursions and the TVA, it's like, whoops, he's out of where he needs to be. And so they prune him, and then we're like, wait, where the hell did he just go? And then boom, you figure out where he goes. You see, like that could be like the end credit, where it's like, huh? Because like I've had a thought of what would have left fans leveled is if Ant-Man and the Wasp came out before Infinity War, because when the when Scott Lang and like the original Ant-Man and Wasp character, when they get dusted and he gets stuck in the quantum realm, nobody would have known what happened, and they would have been like, what the frick? But since we saw Infinity War, we knew what being dusted looked like. And so it's like, oh, they got dusted, it'll be fine. Instead of that confusion on, whoa, what actually really happened? Because, like, for example, Gamora or what did they like the Soul Stone, like being in the Soul Stone? We still don't know, but will they ever show us? No. But like, you could have left little nuggets of like cliffhangers in the ways of, yeah, sometime in 2020 or 2021, before the Loki TV show, which you could have also just made the Loki TV show a movie, cut out the fat and make it a movie. But you could have had your Blade movie, and then in that Blade movie, towards the end or at the very end, yeah, boop, he gets poked by the TVA, but we don't know who the TVA is, and it's like, huh? But then he comes back. He escapes from the, I don't, what is it called? What's that? What is that place called? Like the Nomad Land. What is the Void? Is it called the Void? It is called the Void. Okay, see, I couldn't remember what it was called. So yeah, have him get poked and pruned, and then he ends up in the Void. Which, the fact that the 20th Century Fox logo, like, again, it pokes fun at a lot of things. Um, but you have him be there, and then find a way for him to escape. And oh, where does he escape to? He ends up in, oh, look at that. Oh, wait, brand. Oh, he ends up in the Brand New Day timeline or something, where he ends up, somehow he escapes his own timeline. He's in the Void, helps fight, him and Wesley Snipes Blade have like a funny interaction. You can still even have the there's only going to be one Blade, like those kind of tongue-in-cheek jokes, and then he jumps. Or you could have him end up because spoiler warning, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. If you have heard, the one of the big spoilers, I guess, to Open Doomsday. Here, actually, let me pull it up right now. I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. Right here. Okay, let me pull it up. Right here. Okay. There is speculations and rumors that this is in the Tobey Maguire universe of Spider-Man, where there's an incursion that's going on, and this is ultimately the fate of what happens to that universe. Now, do I also think some of the stuff done in this film retcons everything that happened in the previous film? Yes, which we will get into that. But you could have done that where, yeah, so much missed potential. Like there's, yeah, it's you have so many different outlets in the ways of what you could do creatively that they could have done because there's decades and years and years and years worth of stuff, but they're like, nah, let's make a TV show about I can't even think of any off the top of my head because they were all that bad. So all right, what else? So I think the Hand could be a big not big bad, but yeah. So back with the Punisher being in this film, he's probably just there for comedic relief. But who else is in this film? Oh, here we go. Yearning, the yearning Peter. Yeah, because MJ forgot about him. Oh, this is probably when the mutation probably starts. This is probably somewhere in the first act, like middle of the first act, because we go from these scenes to, hey, I'm waking up in my undies because while I was going through a weird mutation and in a trance, I strung myself up in a cocoon without even realizing it. And then, which would lead to, hey, Dr. Banner, tell me a little bit about blah, 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 which is why he's in this film. But he's also in this film to sell tickets. Let's not kid ourselves, people, because we haven't seen the Hulk since Endgame. So, what else? What are some other? Oh, the body snatch of like jumping from person to person to person. Definitely done by the Jean Grey. What else? Oh. Sorry, that still image looks so stupid. Oh no, jeez. Okay. Anyways, moving on. What else? Where's Scorpion? There's the Scorpion. Hopefully, I have heard he fights the Scorpion a couple times in the movie, which is like good. Like, look, you don't need to throw because that's a stereotype that's built on itself. Of here, let's have this badass villain only be in this one film. Which, hey guys, I wonder who this is. I really, through all the promos, we've been hiding this character. I really wonder who it is. Which, if it's a bait and switch and this is not Sadie Sink's character, it's like, oh, bravo. You get hidden in plain sight. But that's the other thing that's kind of, I mean, look at this. Where is... Um, Let me. No, where is it? You know, like the floating heads poster style. They did one of these. It was kind of like a poster like this, but they had the Jean Grey character like somewhere over here in the corner with the hood up, and it's like, okay, we're keeping it hidden, we're keeping it secret. We don't know who this character is, and it's like, are you kidding me? We all know who it is. So, well, at least we thought. We thought we knew who it was. Again, that's a little bit of a spoiler. This is probably at the beginning of the film too. Um, which again, we already have like little. Oh, look, X-Men guys. We know the X-Men is in this. Okay, so that's the first trailer. That's me breaking down the first trailer and some thoughts on the first trailer. The second trailer, um, again, more mutation stuff. The birds, him swinging around. Hulk in this film. You're not one of my students, are you? Uh-huh. Sure. Okay, now this scene, when this kind of stuff happens, this is probably somewhere in the end of the second or in the third act, somewhere. Um, this, I could see this be maybe in the. No, this isn't. This is definitely not at the beginning. Like, look at the lighting versus Sunset, where it's like the opening montage. Like the closing of the opening montage, I'm like, oh, look, the sun's going down, kind of. Look how cinematic it looks versus, yeah, these two swinging scenes do not connect. They're probably much different. And then it's like the orchestral of like, huh, like it like hits that high note of like him swinging off the helicopter or something, and then a boom, hard cuts to like the party or something like that, and then boom, that was the ending of like the opening montage, and then we start. Here's the start of the second act where he comes home from this party. This is where all the mutation stuff starts, something like that. Because it's not like this scene is going to be towards the middle or the end of the film. Like this is going to be somewhere near the beginning. It's got to be somewhere near the beginning to establish, hey, Peter misses his friends. What else? What else? What else? I didn't know Takis. Look at this. Hold on. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Right. Takis are a staple in the MCU. If you guys did not know. um, yeah. Also, P.S. Don't later. And here's a funny thing about like hiding characters' powers. It's like we know who can do this, so it's like should be no mystery. Now, the Hulk freaking out. I think they can do this through him. I think it'll be good. Um, Now, again, with the Hulk being in this film, I mean, it's not like there are stakes to this film because it's like, what's he gonna do? Take out, Tom Holland, Spider-Man? No, it's two heroes fighting. But is he mind controlled? Yes, because guess who can get mind controlled? The Hulk, because he's been mind controlled before. And so definitely, I think Sadie Sink's character is putting a little spell on him to, you know, get back at Spider-Man, and oh, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. Kind of like, I have a plan, and you're in my way, kind of stuff. Which again, the whole clap is kind of funny, and like just the fact that he just goes flying, wee, like I don't know. Um, Now here's something that it has been spoiled, but it does not surprise me because it is something that I thought. Do I think MJ and Spidey? Do I think they get back together? No, I don't think they do. And it was kind of because I saw a post where it's like brand new day with no context, and it showed Gamora and Peter, but in Guardians 3, and then it's like, yep, I can see that because it's like we can't have our male character be successful. We can't have, I mean, because it's kind of it's a hidden trope kind of in movies nowadays where like there can be no romantic interest or something like that, which this would have been the perfect time to, if you wanted to, introduce Gwen Stacy. That could have been a very, because there's that, and this is what kind of concerned me a little bit with this film being made, and with everything that happened in No Way Home getting retconned, because it's like you can have a film, you can have a Spidey film, because, and this is my thoughts, there's no spoilers to this that I know of so far, but it's like you can have Ned be Hobgoblin because, again, they're leaving out little crumbs for it to make sense on. Yeah, that makes it, because it's like there has been, Ned talking about, I'm always gonna, you're always gonna be my buddy. I'm never gonna betray you and stuff, because they talk about like in No Way Home, like, yeah, my best friend betrayed me. Yeah, my best friend betrayed me too. Like, well, if Ned forgets who Peter is and forgets who Spider-Man is, yeah, he would betray him and turn into the Hobgoblin. Plus, the actor himself lost a lot of weight, and so it's like, oh yeah, the MCU staple, you know, boiled chicken, broccoli, and rice, man. Let's get you yoked up with a six pack so we can have that, um, what's it called? The mandatory shirtless scene, which there is a mandatory shirtless scene in this too. What has been spoiled? Again, spoiler warning, spoiler warning. Click away if you don't want to hear spoilers. I've heard that Yelena's in this film, and I heard that they both get in like a sauna tub together, which it's like, what the hell? Why would Yelena's character be in this film? Don't understand that point, but I have heard that. So the just again with going back to the retcons is there's parts of me where because Peter made everybody forget who he was at the end of last one, you could explore new avenues where, yeah, Ned can turn into the bad guy and he can be the Hobgoblin in the next film, and fight Peter to add to, like, because you want to, 10, 15 years from now, people will compare, okay, who's the best Spider-Man? What would be crazy is if, yeah, there's that arc of Tom Holland's Spider-Man that it goes through where he's, Iron Boy, and then he's end up on his own, and then like, you know, everything that happens and transpires through the whole films where his best friend turns into one of his arch enemy, like all this, it add to the character growth and it would make more of a like, all right, yeah, he's the go, he's one of the best. Like it, I think they, I think, I don't think Marvel, I don't know if they got the Jones to go that direction, because the other thing too is you could introduce characters, and again with like romantic interest wise, because this is with regards to MJ's character, and because how many love interests does Peter Parker have? And you could go down that route where you can introduce Black Cat, you can introduce Gwen Stacy, you can have, I mean, a lot of people make fun of it and jokes of it, but like in Toby's Spider-Man, like MJ's, being MJ, and like he's there's Miss Brandt from the newspaper place, and he's like, hey, maybe I should shoot you sometime and stuff, and like he's flirting with everybody, with his emo phase, you could have that kind of Spider-Man character, where you have Tom Holland grow out his hair a little bit and have him be a little bit of a a womanizer, and then MJ gets jealous. That's a storyline you could do, and have in this, because I think there will be 6 Spider-Man films. I think they're going to do 2 trilogies and then wrap it up, or maybe because again, I don't know how this film ends. I don't know any predictions, but it's like, why conclude a trilogy but then add a 4th one? To me, this feels like the start of a second trilogy where there are 6 Spider-Man films total. Or if you don't want to round it out and make it a trilogy, at least wrap it up in 5 or something, because there have been a couple, because this isn't going to turn into like Fast and Furious where there's 11 films, and this isn't going to turn into Star Wars where there's 9 separate Tom Holland Spider-Man films. But with back to a spoiler point, again, click away if you don't want to hear this spoiler. I don't think MJ and Peter in this end up back together. And because it's just the way that creative liberties are now with the writing in Marvel. But like, there's parts of me where it's like, I'm not surprised, because of like, we can't have our main hero have a romantic interest. He can't have a full, complete hero's journey. But then there's other parts of me where just I'm like glad, because it's like, okay, good, because like literally if it goes back into the same things, it's like literally you just retconned everything that was so great about No Way Home. Which, I mean, if the spoilers are true for Doomsday, where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, like his universe blows up, Andrew Garfield's universe blows up, and all that. Like, if that's true, then I mean, because there were theories of like Spider-Man didn't actually change them or fix them when they were there. He just kind of, put a band-aid on it, because it's like when, like, for example, Doc Ock, when Doc Ock came into Tom Holland's universe, he was still in the river and he was still going to drown. So even if he, got the octopus tentacles off of him to get them out of like hardwiring its brain, he's still drowning in the bottom of the river. Who else? So, anyways. So I have kind of seen that spoiler a little bit of how these two don't end up back together, which is like fine, but it's done because of 2 ways. Because like, just, I don't know, like there's no, because once you start to notice it, it is a trope in like modern films. The head taps, like the rubbing heads, like people don't kiss on screen anymore. In some films they do, but like the term, and it's so, because the handful of channels I watch, they call it like the intimacy coordinator and stuff, to like write these love interest scenes where it's like, oh my hell, but it's literally, you notice it's more relevant in films within the last 5 or 10 years. Like the love interests, there's no kissing. They do that little like head tap thing or whatever. But I don't know. Because like, you look at, you could also use the term like emasculating the male character. But like, for example, like with where we were pop culturally when Guardians 3 came out, like there was still like, okay, we have to have the girl boss moment a little bit, like with Gamora going off and being her own character. But it's like, let's make sure we kick down the Peter Quill character though. Like, let's make sure, like, his love for Gamora, like, let's shove that back in his face or something. And like, there's parts of me where I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they do with this, because it's like, dude, it's been going on for the last 6 years. Like, you look at all of, like I think genuinely the last love interest couple that we saw on screen in the MCU, Wanda and Vision. Because like I'm trying to think, like there's no love interests in like Black Panther 2. Doctor Strange literally goes and sits in that wedding to like put him in the cuck chair. What else? What else? What else? Like it's a trope. It's a trope that's kind of, which I'm not saying like I'm for or against, but like once you start to notice that pattern, you kind of can't unsee it, and you're like, hmm. Not saying that like there needs to be a full-on makeout session in the scene and like derail that, and then have it being distracting, but like literally Black Widow, Black Cat, Spider-Man, Batman. A lot of these guys are womanizers. You know what I mean? Like their characters can't have that womanizer. And again, like with heartbreak of Peter being his own character and his friends not remembering him. If he went on that emo phase of like hitting on chicks and whatever, and like it took kind of that Tobey Maguire out of like him like dancing. Like if there was a callback like that, I think the fans would laugh at that and find it more hilarious than, oh, he's yearning over MJ the whole film, but there's no payoff. But like there's parts of me where it's like I'm glad that there's no payoff, even though they are doing basically what they've done in every other love interest film for the last 10 years. But I mean, if there was the payoff, you're retconning what made number 3 so good. And like from that point, yeah, introduce a Gwen Stacy character. Introduce, because like with how TASM 2 ended with Gwen Stacy, they were going to go the Spider Gwen route with it for the third one. That was the rumor. But that's where you could have introduced MJ to Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. Or, and you know what? You could have been so lazy with the casting where it's like, oh, look at that. Now they cast Emma Stone as MJ, but they just, keep her hair red. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were that lazy and kept it. It would have been funny. But, yeah, so there's that. Now, do I think, I mean, if we're going off of posters for posters' sake, I mean, she is in that poster that shows the eye, so I don't know, maybe she's falling. She has fallen before. There's probably going to be a scene, where they're swinging around and he has to, catch her. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, we already talked about the hand a little bit. This spinny webs, super cool. You know what I've also heard? I've also heard that there is a lot of action, like video games, like scenes and moves from the video games, where it's like, oh, that works. Okay, now this is probably somewhere, because with how movies have been lately, I'm concerned that the Hulk is only in the Hulk for one moment in the film. I don't think Hulk hulks out multiple times in the film. So when we see Hulk, it's probably towards the end of the second act and in all of the third act where he is the Hulk for the remainder of the film, which is why we get cool ass scenes like this of him falling and being tied up in the building. But again, with the stakes of Hulk's character, nothing's gonna happen to him. Like, we still gotta have rumors of a World War Hulk movie, What else? Stretching. Hold on, let me stretch real quick. Um, what else? What else? What else? Um, can't think of anything else other than Yeah. Oh, that. Oh, yeah, that might be. Oh, yeah. Ooh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Could the mutation, Spider-Man's not playing by the rules, he's fighting a little dirty? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, Now, what are some other predictions that I have for the film? Because we can wrap it up. We can wrap this up. Let's talk spoilers in regards to. I don't think anything's going to happen to the Hulk. Um, I think the hand gets dealt with in the way of they claim defeat, but then they run off and hide away. Um, 'Cause it's like it'd be pretty brutal if like they're in a building or something, and it's like yes, Hulk collapses the building, and boom, there goes the hand. They're done. Um, but like I think there's a lot of mind control in this film, which is why it's going to be hero versus hero for the main like forced conflict. Um, do I think there will be a scene of Spider-Man fighting Jean Grey? Unfortunately, no, because there's parts of me where I think with nerfing characters, if there's something in the ways of like, oh, nobody's powerful enough, it's me, I need to look inward or something, and like where the only person that can defeat the villain is the villain. Like, if it pulls that, I think it's gonna pull that. It's like no, Spider-Man cannot. Spider-Man can't even beat the Hulk. Um, he's not gonna beat the Jean Grey character. Um, the only other spoiler that I could think of in regards to like, because we know about the Punisher. I don't think the Punisher would betray Spider-Man's character. Um, Maybe he gets arrested, which is why he's in this prison here. Um, all I can think of is just he's trying to, I don't know, stop the bad guys and figure out why. Oh, why is Jean Grey acting like this? And this is a funny freeze frame. Um, and then what else? What else? What else? What else? Maybe there could probably be a final swing. Actually, no, there's not going to be a final swing. Let's end the stream with this, and here's why I think this. Here's why I don't think there would be a final swing because they have to set up Secret War. And what do I mean by that? Oh boy, let me tell you. Um, what they're trying to do is they're trying to. I've talked about this a couple times um, with just creative liberties of the MCU with what the MCU is now, with where they could go and in what direction. Does anybody know what the cover of Secret War is with regards to the comics? Let me show you. What does that look like right there? Can you tell me what that is? That's the symbiote suit. That is Spider-Man in the symbiote suit. Now, anybody also know cover? Where's the cover? Where's the one I'm thinking of? That'd be insane. That'd be insane. I don't think they would do that, but to have like a Bizarro Superman version of Spider-Man, a Bizarro Spider-Man. Because that's who one of the villains were in James Gunn's Superman, was just a different version of Superman with just longer hair. Two Tom Holland's fighting. That would be an interesting aspect to take. Do I think they would be brave and go in that direction? No, I don't think they would. Where is... Um, here's some other cool ones. Where's the one I'm thinking of in particular? Because when I find it, there it is. Web of Spider-Man. Web of Spider-Man cover. Bingo! Oh, hell. Oh, there it is. Which one would this one be? Continues a 6-part saga. Okay. Now, why would I be showing this one in particular? Well, let me tell you why. I think there are a couple Spider-Mans that they could introduce. This is one of them, for example. They could 2099 it. They could... There are a handful of different Spider-Mans. Because eventually... Hold on. Eventually we will get to a point... Okay, here it is. In Across the Spider-Verse, when there's thousands and thousands of variants of Spider-Mans. We will eventually... We are not there yet. Will we get there in the next 50 years? Potentially. I think it's called Spider-Geddon. Geddon. Yes. This is it. We will get there eventually one day where this will be a movie. And this will be on the silver screen. Could this be the conclusion to the next Tom Holland trilogy? Potentially. But guess who you have still not introduced? Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Spider-Punk, Spider 2099. There are so many other different Spider-Men that you have not introduced. This film will be made eventually one day. There's others. Yeah, look at all the different variations of Spider-Man. I've seen theories that this version of Spider-Man is going to be Tobey Maguire in Doomsday. I've heard that theory, which would actually be pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. Iron Spider, Secret. Let's look at the, where is the, Iron Spider? Look at this. Yep, there it is. People doing, which, no, it's fake. It's not real. But, it'd be cool. It'd be cool. But the, what's the point I'm trying to make here? Point I'm trying to make here is, with where the MCU is, where we know there's going to be a soft reboot after Secret Wars, and it's going to go from Doomsday to Secret Wars. They need to find a way to get Venom suit Spider-Man on the screen, and so that's where I think there could be the spoiler of. And again, I haven't seen the film yet, but this is kind of like my final prediction of the movie. Tom Holland's Spider-Man dies at the very end of the film. That would be my prediction. So that it can set up for, because again, a lot of people give it a lot of credit for, oh, look at all the comic book cover scenes that they do in the freeze frame and not. How sick would it be if Secret Wars opens with the Venom suit, punching out of the ground, and then like him crawling out, like in the new symbiote suit. That'd be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. But um, I don't know if. Hello? This freaking ripped off. Look at this. This stupid poster. These posters are freaking falling all over. Quit it. I'll fix that later. I'll fix that later. My posters keep falling off my walls because there's like a vortex tunnel going here with how fast the fans going. Anyways, though, that's kind of my thoughts and reactions to Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Have not seen the film yet. I'm excited to see the film. It has piqued my interest in the ways of people are talking good about it. People are making a lot of good reviews. Like, people aren't talking negative. Like, within like 24 hours, people were already talking about like how trashed the like. Look at the last handful of movies that have come out, like The Odyssey or Supergirl or what's another film that has come out like recently. Like, the positive reception to this film is on the levels of what, you know, Project Hail Mary, the Michael Jackson film, Obsession. Like, it's positive. Like, there are a lot of positive. There's a lot of positive feedback for this film, and so I think it's going to be good. We'll see, but I wanted to just kind of come on here and be like, hey, these are my predictions for the film, because I'm going to watch the film and be like, oh, damn, I was wrong on that, and that, because there have been a couple things that have already been spoiled for me, and I'll go through a handful of them. The first one that I saw that was spoiled was the Jean Grey character is not Jean Grey. It's something else, which we will do that in a review after we see the film. But then the other one is there was something that I saw in regards to if you could describe this movie in one word or two words or three words. Term that I saw was muscle memory, and it's like, muscle. But because there's a scene of him and Ned doing the handshake and stuff of them doing like or something, and it's like, oh damn, because again, if Ned doesn't remember who Spider-Man is, how does he know the handshake? And then there's other stuff like the amount of times, because this is probably something that they didn't think about too much, but like the amount of times Peter saved him or them. How do they not know that they have a relationship with Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know, but that scene could be pretty cool. What else has been spoiled for me? Nothing with regards to Hulk or what actually happens to Spider-Man. Nothing there. Do I think Spidey's going to be in Doomsday? Yes, but I think it's one of those worst kept secret type of things where people talking about in No Way Home where it's like, no, there's only going to be one Spider-Man in this film, and it's like, I don't know about that. What else? Other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anything else. So, yeah, guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments, whether you're watching now or later. If I've already said too many spoilers, sorry about it. Go watch the film, come back, and be like, damn. I just think the amount of shock, quote unquote, shock level of, I mean, having Andrew Garfield come back and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like, that's a huge spoiler. Like, if they could have kept that under wraps and secret, but like they never could. Infinity War, like them subverting expectation, like, because people think, subvert expectations and like they associate that with something bad. There's also good ways of subverting expectations. I just think with where the MCU is and where movies are as a whole, we aren't going to see films where they're subverting expectations in the way of, oh my gosh, I did not expect that, but it was like positive, where we thought boom, 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 boom was going to happen in the film, but they didn't go that direction. But the direction that they actually went in was an actual good direction, where it's like, actually, the film was a lot better because they actually went that way. And we predicted it to be category A and follow these plot points, boom, boom, boom. They went with, they subverted our expectations and went with, Project B, but it's like, okay, that's good, because if we saw Project C, it's like, well, we wanted to set it for a modern audience and have it be boom, 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 where it's like, um, plot C would be Spider-Man's his own sideline character. He's not the main character in his own film. This film's more about MJ, or Sadie Singh's character. Um, where we go look at Doctor Strange, case in point. But anyways, all right, guys, that's all I have for this review. Kind of spoiler. So I've been yapping long enough, but I'm excited. We'll see about it. I've heard it's good, and because I've heard it's good, it has won my interest to want to go see it versus other films that have come out this year where it's like, that was garbage. This movie has had a very positive word of mouth, so that kind of, motivates me to go see it more. Because truthfully, after watching go back last summer, or watching Superman, the trailer for the Odyssey that dropped at that point, if that was the only promotion that they gave, there weren't interviews, there weren't second trailer, third trailers, and like, you didn't hear about anybody's true opinion until the embargo was lifted. Truthfully, I probably would have been an Odyssey day one kind of guy. But just with the amount of, man, this movie's long and boring. Yeah, the first hour of the movie stretches on, which I've even talked about the pacing in this movie. I've heard it's terrible. What else have I heard about the Odyssey? I mean, there's other stuff where like people are complaining about the armor. It's like the armor looks badass. The armor looks so cool. Who cares if it looks accurate? It looks more badass than not. You are gonna freaking bug me. How did this? You're shitting me. I'm gonna have to repin every single freaking poster in this room. They're all falling. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I thank you guys for hanging out with me long enough. Gonna go make quick dinner, but if you guys want to load back up in here, for a little bit of Fortnite, we'll play some games tonight. I'm craving a little bit of Deep Rock, craving a little bit of Fortnite. But thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see. And I will, when I watch Brand New Day, I will give a reaction to that. But other than that, guys, I thank y'all for hanging out. This was a fun stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Go watch Spider-Man. I've heard it's good. Go watch it before me, then meet me in the comments and spoil it for me, because it might be a little bit. Because the other thing too is, Odyssey especially, like Odyssey is gonna make so much money till like August and September, because like the go watch it in 70 million, like all that has been sold out since day one. But I thought I saw, let's talk monies real quick. Like I think opening Brand New Day, opening day box office, how much? There we go. Now we're talking. Look at this number here. Look at this. Nope, that's the wrong button. There it is. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Hey, I think people might like this film. I might be crazy. I think people might like this film. So, anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for listening to me ramble this long. If you stayed to the end, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Um, this, as a whole, these were my predictions for the Spider-Man movie. No, I don't think it's bad. That was just to engage you and clip farm you of like, oh, this guy thinks it's bad. Let me get in there. No, I've heard it's good. I think it's gonna be good. So, anyways, yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.